fractions. So we'll say 25% equals 25 hundredths, which equals 25 hundredths. All right. Yes.
I did 79 over 100 equals 79%.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you guys want to add? Okay, so take a minute. If there's anything on here that you don't have on your paper that you want on your paper, just take a minute and write it down. Let me zoom out a little bit if I can. And then if you are good to go ahead and stand up for me. All right, slide over to the right side of your page and title it EOG Review, Ratios, Unit Rates, and Percents. And then give me a thumbs up when you have that done. All right, we are going to go ahead and move into our practice problems today. We actually do not have any videos. I know y'all are so disappointed. So go ahead and go to question number 42. Alright, there are also calculators on your table, so you need to make sure that everybody gets one. Don't open it or anything, just make sure you have one. Sorry, 41, not 42. Yeah, 41, my fault. Can I borrow one of your calculators? Alright, so give me a thumbs up when you get to that question. Alright, so let's stop before we get started. We're going to talk about these calculators real quick. So everyone grab one. You need to open it up and turn it on. And how you do that is the bottom left button. Alright, so there are a lot of cool features on this calculator. So looking at the buttons down here, you see a lot of stuff over here. The majority of it we're not going to use. However, this button right here, the U/N/D, that is how you put in a mixed number into this calculator. So when you do that, you're going to hit the button and it pops down and shows you like the mixed number format. So let's put in 1, and then you have to push over and it takes you to your numerator. Put a 1, you have to push down, put a 2, and then push over. And you now have a mixed number in your calculator. Let's divide that by a regular fraction. The regular fraction button is the n over the d, numerator over denominator. So you push that, and let's pick 2. You have to push down fifths, and then you have to push it over. Thumbs up if you got that. We're about to rock your world. Hit the enter button. What do you get? It does all the work for you. So I sold my soul and my child to get these calculators for you guys because we've been using those janky blue ones, and all of the other classes have been using these. So this is what you're going to be using the day of the EOG. Okay? Now, let's say that you have a fraction and you want to change it to a decimal. So hit your button that gives you just a regular fraction. Let's do 4 ninths. If you hit this second button up here, so hit the second button and then hit the fraction button again, and it'll say F and then to D, so that's fraction to decimal. Hit enter and it changes it to a decimal for you. Alright, let's say you want to go from a decimal to a fraction. So we're going to put 0.58. You're going to hit the fraction to decimal again, and you're going to hit enter, and it's going to take you to 58 over 100. You see that little arrow pointing down? That arrow is telling you that it needs to be simplified. So if you see where it says little arrow and simp, if you hit that, it'll tell you that you want to simplify it, and it will simplify it for you to 29/50. Right? Where's this calculator been in all of your life, right? It's the most crazy thing in the world. Alright, so those are two things that are going to be super duper uber important to you. Being able to take a mixed number and divide it by a fraction or whatever. This button, the U and then the N/D, is going to be super duper important to you. This button, the N over the D, is going to be super important to you. Understanding that the second makes you do the stuff on top. Alright, so let's take this 29/50. So we're going to make a fraction, and we're going to put 29/50. And we want to change this to a percent. How do you think we're going to do that?
Second and then hit the percent button.
Yes. So you hit second, and then you hit the percent button, and then you hit enter. I would sing, but I can't. And you don't want me to. All right. It's not letting me do it. So hit.
I was doing this.
Oh, you gotta push out of the fraction. Yeah, so hit the over button, then hit second, and then percent. So you guys have to get out your fraction and your mixed number in order to be able to do anything. If you, like, let's say you put in your fraction and then you didn't, so let's say we're at 4 ninths times 7, what just happened?
You get 4
Divided by 9 times 7. Alright, so you have to make sure if you're dealing with a fraction that you push out of that fraction. So you have 4 down 9, then you push over so that it pops out of the fraction. Does that make sense? Alright, I want you to use your calculator today when we're solving these unit rate questions and when we're solving these percent questions. Do you still have to show your work today? Yes, you do. Because no matter how amazing this thing is, if you don't know the process of solving a problem, does this really matter?
No.
No, it does not. Alright, so you have your calculators. We are on number 41. I want you to go ahead, let's get started on number 41. You will notice that it is a unit price question. And again, you can use your calculator to help you solve that problem. Stand up when you have your answer. So why did I put all those little like ratios up there? Why did I put all those up there, Ronnie?
That's how you find the answers on it, like the work.
And what are we looking for, Ronnie?
How much it costs for one.
For 1 ounce. Alright, so you have to find the unit price for each one of the cans and find the one that is the smallest. Once you have your answer, go ahead and stand up. Guys, this should not be taking this long with the fact that I set it up for you and you have a calculator. Like, I understand you have to show the work, but showing the work at this point is saying, I'm gonna divide by 10 and punch in 0.89 divided by 10, and I'm writing my answer. Like, this is not a process that should be new. We are taking entirely too long. So when we divide 89 cents by 10, what do we get? What'd you get? And if you didn't get to that part, punch it in the calculator right now so you can actually answer the questions. Mikhail. Okay. All right, the next one, you have $1.29. You are dividing by 15. When you divide $1.29 divided by 15, what do you get? Kylie.
0.086.
All right, over here, when we take and divide $2.26 by 18, what do you get? No. 0.125. All right, and then the last one, when you divide $3.39 by 32, what do you get? Someone other than Kylie and Ronnie. Lily.
0.105.
0.105, yes. All right, so which one of these is clearly not our answer because we're looking for the lowest. And technically this is all cents, right? So if we round this up, this becomes 13 cents. If we round this up, this becomes 11 cents. If we round this up, well, let's talk about this for a second. So we can get rid of or the 18 ounces and the 32 ounces, right? Why? Why can we get rid of both of those? Y'all, this is not a rocket science question. Why can we get rid of C and D? Emma. We're talking about money, so I don't want to hear tenths. I don't want to hear anything. Why can we get rid of 18 ounces and 32 ounce cans? Why can we get rid of those? Lily?
Because they're over 10 cents.
Well, they're over 10 cents, so obviously they're not going to be the lowest per ounce. Okay? So now we're looking at these two. Now, why is it important to not round to the nearest cents? What happens if we round to the nearest cents? Like if we rounded use the 8 and round it, or use the 9 and rounded that 8 to 9, and then we use the 6 and rounded the 8 to 9, what would happen? No. We get the same answer, so then what do? So we're not rounding these two, but how do we know which one is the correct answer? How do we know which one is the right answer? Ronnie?
1, 3, 8.
So 10 cents is cheaper than 15 cents? You have to look at this number, guys. You have to. Which number is smaller? 6 or the 9? The 6. So therefore, our answer is 15 ounces. How many of us got that one right? You have a calculator in your hand. At this point, every single hand should have been up. Isaac's not here this week, so it's just Emma, so that's fine. Alright, go to number 42. Now, we are going to do number 42 together because it's one of those weird questions that don't follow all the rules. So if 45% of a number, n, is 225, what is 74% of n? Now, the way we are going to solve this problem is different than what we've done before. You are going to take 225 and you are going to divide it by 45%. So when you do that, stand up. Use your calculator. Use this thing right now. Get used to using this thing. Yes, I want you to show your work, but I want you to use your calculator. So again, you're using 45 and the percent symbol and you're getting your answer. So raise your hand if you got 500. Okay? So that is technically the answer to this question that I had you do. Now, I want you to do something for me. I want you to punch into your calculator 225 times 45% and tell me what you get. Camden, what'd you get? 101.25. Okay, so ultimately you get 101.25. Now, how do you know that answer doesn't make sense? How do you know that 101.25 does not make sense? But neither is 500. So how do I know 500 is right, but 101.25 is not right? Because this is going to happen to you on the test. You're going to have a question like this, and you're going to go, oh, I know I need to multiply by 45%. And then you're going to get this answer, and you're going to be like, I don't know what to do. How do you know? Doesn't matter about a decimal. 45% is almost halfway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking at, this is my whole, or this is my part, it is telling me that 45% of a number is 225. So I need to think, okay, if this is almost half, 500 makes a whole lot more sense than 101.25, does it not? Because almost half of 225 is going to be really close to 500. You've got to use this thing up here at some point during this test, just a little bit. So now, what do we do with this 500? Because that's not our answer. But we needed to know that number to what? To find the answer. So now, can we use our proportion equation? Because I have 74%, so I know that, right? And it's asking what is 74% of n. So 500 goes here, and I need to find my part. Make sure I set it up right. Yes. All right, so from there, cross multiply and divide. And see if it works out. Stand up when you get your answer. Alright, what do we get when we cross multiply 500 times 74? What do you get? William.
37,000.
And then I divide that by 100, so I end up with 370. Is that an answer choice?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay. So that is how you solve a question like that. You actually have to divide by the percent and then put it into your proportional equation. And this teeny tiny question does not seem like it's a multi-step, but this is a multi-step because how many steps do we have to do in order to solve it? Gotta do 2, right? Alright, to go on to question number 44. Go to question number 44. Alright, so question number 44 says, at a middle school, 74 students have freckles. There are 258 students in the school. To the nearest tenth of a percent, what percent of students have freckles? So what's important in that first sentence? What's important in the first sentence? Delilah?
74 students on
Okay, what's important in the second sentence? Noah?
there are 158 students.
All right. What's very, very important in our last sentence? Camden,
Nearest 10th of a percent.
to the nearest 10th of 8%. Why is that important, Camden?
Because we have to round up or down with the nearest one.
So we're gonna have to round up or down to the nearest 10th, which will tell us kind of how far we have to go with our problem. Now, using the percent proportional ratio equation, whatever this thing's called, do we have the information we need to solve our problem? Do we have our part? Raise your hand and tell me, what is our part? Christiana? 74. Do we have our whole? Kaya? 258. So we are looking for our percent. So again, you cross multiply and then you're going to divide. Alright, use your calculator, figure out what 258 times, sorry, that should be 74. Apologize. Figure out what 74 times 100 is. Troy? So 7,400, so 7,400, and then what do we divide by? What do we divide by? Elisa, what am I gonna divide by? Yep, so I'm gonna divide by 258. Alright, stand up when you have your answer. Has it been that long since you've seen it? Alright, Wyatt, what answer did you get when in your calculator? Like, just tell me the numbers.
28.67054.
Alright, that's a whole lot of decimals, right? I think that's what you said. I might be off a few numbers, but. So, how many do we actually need? How many do we actually need to solve? How many do we actually need? Zoe, what do you think? Okay, so let's eliminate some of these, and I'm gonna just keep 3. We can use 3. That works for me. Alright, so if I have to go to the 10th, so this is my 10th, this is my 100th, this is my 1,000. So I'm not gonna use my 2 because I have to round to the 10th, right? So looking at 8, is my 6 gonna stay a 6, or is it gonna change to a 7?
Change to a 7.
Change to a 7, which gives me 28 and 7/10%. So my answer is B. Okay, what do you guys think about that one? How much more do you like using a calculator?
I like
You and me both.
Not the problem.
Alright,
Last
no. Alright, go to section 4. Go to section 4, number 11. Do you guys realize why we don't use calculators all year though? Like, do you understand why we don't? Anybody?
I think
Why do you think?
so. So we actually know the knowledge of the calculator.
Yes. So you know how to use your calculator. Because regardless if you, what did I say, number 11, right?
Yeah.
Regardless if you have a calculator, sometimes you're gonna get lucky. But if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know how to solve a problem, it doesn't really matter if you have a calculator. Okay? Alright. So we are looking at number 11. What is 80%? Is that section 3?
Yeah.
My bad. Section 3. I don't even know anymore. Section 4 is geometry, isn't it?
I don't know, it's just magnitude. It's like,
Oh, that's definitely not yet. Sorry, section 3. or 5, or, I don't know.
This section with that question.
Yeah, what she said.
I think it's
3. All I know is it says RP1, RP2, RP3, RP4 at the bottom. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so what is 80% of 80? Now, I'm going to put this up here, but I want you guys to try using your calculator and just doing 80 times 80% and see what you get. So use your calculator and do 80 times 80%.
I got this number.
Alright, so now looking at your calculator, as I solve this problem, showing my work, did we get the same answer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're on the EOG, I'm okay if you're on the calculator active section and you have a question like this, and you just type it into your calculator and you don't put anything on your paper. Does that make sense? Because this question should take you about 15 seconds to solve if you have a calculator, right? If you don't have a calculator, it might take you 30, because again, this is a fairly easy question, right? Alright, so the correct answer for that one is 64. Alright, you guys are moving on to number 12. So number 12 says, 4 different stores are selling the same item at different prices, and with a variety of discounts as shown below. So I want you to take, with your calculator, and I want you to do 30 times 5%. And then raise your hand and tell me what you get. 30 times 5%. I guess I should probably, take this. What'd you get? 1. Okay, so the discount for this one is $1.50. Okay, so the next one, 33% times 33 times 15%. Raise your hand and tell me what you get. Camden. So $4.95. All right, next one, 36 times 20%. $36 times 20%. William.
I got 7.2.
7.2. All right, so $7.20. And then the last one, $39 times 25%. Okay. So $9.75. All right. Raise your hand if you think A is the correct answer. Raise your hand if you think B is the correct answer. C, D. So right now, all of you are wrong. Why? Why are you all wrong? What does it say? After the discount. So what we found was the amount of the discount. We didn't find the answer to that.
I know.
So now what do you have to do with each one of these numbers and each one of these numbers? Mikhail. Right, so now I want you to do 30 minus $1.50. Raise your hand, tell me what you get. And yes, use your calculator, guys. Christiana. 28.50. All right, next one, 33 minus 4.95. Raise your hand, tell me what you get. William.
$28.55.
So $28.05. All right, store number 3, 36 minus $7.20. What do you get?
28.8.
So $28.80. And then the last one, $39.75. Or $39 minus $9.75, sorry. Kinda just threw it all together. Troy,
$29.25.
so all of us who thought because it had the biggest discount, it was the correct answer, would have got that one wrong. Because what is the correct answer?
B.
B. Because it has, it's the lowest cost. Okay? Questions about that one? So it didn't seem like a terribly hard problem, but it ended up being what? Did it end up being more than just one step?
Yeah.
Because it's more than just finding that discount. We gotta find the discount and then apply that discount.
Subtract it.
Alright, last question for today, I believe. Number 18. You are not allowed to use a calculator for this problem.
Okay. For
Alright.
section 3.
So it says, what percent of the stars are white? So what percent of the stars are white? So stand up when you have your answer. Y'all are thinking too hard. You're thinking way too hard.
I'm no cancer, I'm just showing my work.
Even then, it should take you 15 seconds to show your work.
I write too much.
How many stars are there?
10.
10. So if we know that our percents are out of 100, and there are 10 stars, what is the value of each one of those stars?
10%.
Oh, 10%, right? So if we have 4 stars, 4 times 10 is what? 40. 40. So therefore, our answer is 40. All right. That did take longer than I expected it to take, but I feel like you guys have a little bit better understanding of percents as well as getting you comfortable using that calculator. So take your calculators, please clear them. So you need to hit clear a few times and then hit second and hit the on button again and it turns it off. And then close it up for me, stack it in the middle.
I know a cool trick if you press clear and on, it clears the whole time.
It clears the entire
Well, that's
number.
fine, I don't really care about the whole thing, I just don't want it on the screen. I mean, we'll do all that for the EOG, but. And then take these, put them to the side. You are picking right back up where you left off with the station from yesterday, or you can go to a new station. Or you can go to one of the new stations today, it's completely up to you. Okay? I will be calling a few of you guys to the back table to, and the versatiles you can also do if you want.